Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to an episode of Coffees for Closers. Myself and James today.
How we going, guys?
Bit of like a temporary new setup studio. It's not how it's going to be, but we're trying something new anyway.
Yeah, we're going to redecorate this back wall, so we'll have some cool stuff coming in the near future. We'll have some new stuff coming in the future. We've also clearly got some new cameras and stuff, so we don't know where to look yet, but we'll figure it out shortly.
Yeah, for sure. So what we're talking about today is a new type of selling that we're getting into.
Just big boy selling, right?
Yeah, the big boy selling. So if you want to hear about the big boy selling, make sure you stay through to the end, like, subscribe, hit notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the subscription button if you're listening on a podcast and audio only. One of the rare audio only listeners. All right. Cue the intro.
If you listen to this podcast, you will make your first $1 million within 3 years. I'm going to repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of the first episode you listen to. We don't want pikers. We're not here to save the manatees. We're here to make podcasts. You really want this. You listen and review.
Put that coffee down.
Also, if you're not a big boy, feel free to just switch off here because the content might be a bit fire. It might melt your face off. Just want to be prepared.
Face melting.
Face melting.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is mergers and acquisitions. How dare you?
Sorry, I have to point that out.
Yeah, but I look much better than you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let the viewers decide.
Comment down below who's better looking, Matt or James. Just comment down below.
To be fair, I did shave my head and look like a bit of a dickhead right now, to be honest. So.
Literally.
Who's better looking?
I've decided to grow it long. For those of you who don't know, we're in some sort of lockdown right now.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, we're definitely not in lockdown right now.
Yeah, no.
Sure, so mergers and acquisitions. So really funny thing. So one of our sales guys came to us and was like, oh, hey, we want to start selling some bigger stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. And mergers and acquisitions is a very, very pure form of selling because what you're essentially trying to do is you're trying to get someone to either sell you or give you a percentage of their business for free or for money at quite a nominal value so that you can then build the business or flip it or do whatever you kind of want. So a lot of it's very, very pure sales oriented because you're cold calling, you're outreaching, you're messaging, and you are 100% self-generating large deals.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was a good idea. So in a week, I generated 10.
10, yeah. I mean, a lot of deals. But we also settled on 3?
I think 2 with a really hard yes from another one.
Hard yes, paperwork.
We have paperwork pending, but 2 of them are done, settled, good to go. Profit will be coming at the end of the month.
Well, and for reference, what we mean there is we've acquired a stake in other people's companies. In order for us, we don't put any money down, so it's more like a sweat equity in that sense.
One of them we are pretty cash in, though.
Well, it's a loan, but
we got money,
baby. Back, right? Anyway, and for the purposes, we come in with our infrastructure. We do what we're really good in order to recoup their stake of what they've given up. We generate a shit ton metric amount of sales and add significant infrastructure and profit to that company over the next 6 or 12 months.
Yeah, like it came from Jeremy. Right?
Yep.
So with Jeremy, I was like his top student.
Yep.
And then I was like, hey, man, I think you've got something great here. I'd love to kind of help you run the company. Then from there, I came in as the sales guy.
Yeah.
They told me, oh, yeah, we're 4 weeks out from launching ads and yada, yada, yada. So anyway, over that next 4 weeks, I generated 38 sales by myself. And I was like, oh, I think this is a thing that we can do. Then from there, just kind of took more and more responsibility. Probably about 5 or 6 months after that, he named me as like the CEO of the company.
Yep.
Then I brought in Marco to like understudy me as a sales guy, become the sales guy. Then really, Marco is the VP of sales, but really he's the chief of marketing.
Marco should really take my role there, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he's the everything guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marco's the engine.
Yep.
The chief executive engine.
CEE. What a title.
Exactly.
I'd love that.
He's more of the chief marketing officer.
Yeah.
But so and then we put in our own strategies, and then we had delivery issues. So then we used our CTO, who's our chief technical officer here at Sales Sniper.
Shout out to Balan.
right? And then we're like, hey man, can you build us an onboarding structure? So we built a rock tight onboarding structure where we're now onboarding 100 to 150 clients per month pretty flawlessly. Then from there, we use the existing administration staff, which is Lady's been there for ages. She's super nice. And we just kind of gave her a better title, gave her more dialed in responsibilities. And then we were like, oh shit, we've started pretty much an eight-figure business, just under an eight-figure business in 6 months.
Yeah, with almost not really intention to do that. Well, intention, but not purposefully driven intention to be like, I want to be here in this period of time.
Yeah, we've grown it between 25 and 40% gross revenue month on month for the last 6 to 7 months.
And so sorry, I cut you off there. Technical interrupt. It's just a really bad one.
Yeah.
Then we thought, we're really good at this.
Yeah, we're good at that.
Let's rinse and repeat.
Let's see if we can do it again. So basically, over the last little bit, we've been building strategies within the businesses that we work with to help them grow because they've always struggled with paid ads and they've struggled with delivery. We've broken the delivery systems in a few of the businesses that we've worked with. So we helped them kind of rebuild them. So essentially what we've essentially realized that we're a sales company, but also we're kind of a organic marketing done for you company as well as kind of a delivery systems company. Now, we don't want to be coaches. No. We don't want to coach people. That just seems like a waste of fucking time and energy, to be honest, for us. So like, why don't we just do it for people? So in exchange, what we're doing is we're kind of going through a bit of a surge of mergers and acquisitions, which I found super interesting because, I would have thought that the sales component would have been different, but it's really not. Yeah. It's very, very similar. And like, it's very similar to like a stock standard selling sales coaching sale. Because you're dealing with people's want and needs, especially if they're going to be staying in the company, right? Yeah. Like they want to grow something, but they're just lacking certain things. And it's like, well, hey man, like I can just do that for you. And so instead of like selling a coaching offer, you can literally just sell it as a done for you. And in exchange, and instead of an exchange in money, there's an exchange of equity.
I mean, they were going to be paying us for it anyway. Yeah. But at least with this, it incentivizes us to 10x the amount of infrastructure and people, and we could just throw an army at that to get it done, get it actioned as quick as humanly possible, because the incentive for us to come in and implement that is tenfold larger because we're going to be being paid dividends for the entire future of the operation.
And there's a couple of other plays there, which we probably won't talk about on camera, but
there's a spider web.
There's a couple of other larger.
This is a redback up there.
Redback.
You see that?
Spiders everywhere.
Spiderwebs just
coming down.
Rolling
out.
No,
so there's a couple of other interesting plays, I think, with M&A. So I think like a lot of sales guys, I don't think that they give themselves enough credit. Like guys are out there right now, you're a sales guy, you're selling fitness or coaching and consulting. Like, and you look at these guys that are in mergers and acquisitions, and the guys are making $5 million commissions over 2 years on deals and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, you guys can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're more than capable. A couple of years ago, I was a fitness guy. Then I was a high-ticket guy. Now I'm a mergers and acquisitions guy.
What's next? Private equity?
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that like the soul of selling is very, very similar, regardless of where you are, what you're selling, what you're doing. It's just that some of the processes might be different. But what I did is I sat down before I did these calls, and I was like, man, what are these guys' core? Like, what is the core problem that I can solve? And then from there, I just basically wrote a script out that was identical to any other sort of coaching script, whether it be fitness coaching or business coaching or marketing. And it was just like, okay, like this is the problem that I'm going to solve. These are the areas that I provide the most value. This is where I'm going to steer the conversation. These are the pain points I'm going to hit home. And then when I find a solution that the person really wants, I'll future pace it out, go through my consequence. What happens if you're day-to-day for the rest of your life sitting head down in a fucking spreadsheet looking at lead costs, worrying about hiring and firing instead of just doing the thing that you're best at.
Yeah. And
your particular area of genius. And then from there, it's just a sale. There's overcoming objections. It's a longer sale, right? But you can get the commitment and the want to change and move forward very early in the process. Then from there, it's the logistics of it are far more complicated. But once they're in, they're in.
And that's really only the difference is the way that you structure that. Because in most cases, like, it's not like a 1 call, 2 call close. There's probably like a 3 calls within that. And then from there, you're going back and forth over anywhere from 1 to 5 other calls. negotiating on costs, deliverables, et cetera, to get that across the line. Then it's back and forth on paperwork, right?
Yeah. So I would say like the initial discovery is not being done by me at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like it's being done by one of the a few other guys within the organization that are like, you know, like I'm finding some deals, doing some discovery myself, but then if other people are out there finding them as well, like we're looking for some marketing companies to partner with.
Yeah.
So if you run a marketing company out there and you want to get to $1 million a month, then like let us know. Reach out.
We are going to ask for equity.
Just so you know. Yeah, but and then so from there it's like we do initial discovery, find out what they want. Basically, if the problems that they have match up with the solutions that we can provide, which is essentially like any other offer. And then from there I hop on the phone, take them through a bit of a discovery process where I figure out if I think it's going to be a good match. Also, like if you're going into partnership with somebody, you want to have a good relationship with them. Like you want to be able to have a beer with them, right?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a beer test, right?
Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys today that we're going into business with, and I was like, hey dude, like I'm not doing this in the first stages for the money. I was like, we make enough money and the business doesn't provide enough profit for this to, you know, make pure sense on paper.
Yeah,
but like, you're cool. I love what you do. I love your work. I like working with you. And I think that we could do something really cool together. Like, let's just do what we need to do to have fun and make some money.
Yeah.
I was like, and if we go in it with that, then it's like, let's just do the fun stuff.
There's also, we had some deals there on the line that we could have moved forward with, but chose not to because we couldn't see it working out long term.
Yeah, exactly.
From a relationship.
It's just like,
not from a relationship point of view, because the needs that they had didn't match what we wanted to deliver.
Yeah. Or they didn't see the same problems as us. You know, so it's like then the solutions and everything don't match. So, but I think like what I'd love to tell you guys out there is like, you know, like honestly, I think a lot of sales guys like they don't give themselves enough credit. Like if you can effectively sell information for $30,000 over a phone call, that's a fucking skill set, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you're probably better at selling than a lot of the guys who are out there making billions of dollars a year selling loans or mergers and acquisitions. And there are things out there that you guys might not even realize are incredible. Like selling loans, guys, there's so much money in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about doji loans. I'm talking about like public equity or private equity or venture debt, venture capital.
Stuff, right.
Like you get a percentage of closing fees. So like I know a guy 19 years old, he closed a $75 million loan. Yeah. He got a 4% commission. You guys can do the math, right? 19 years old, 4% of $75 million. That was his very first deal. And this is just selling a product, but we don't think of some of these things as products, but they are, and there's a marketplace for them. So it's just super interesting. Like the more I get into sales, the more I realize that like the fitness and coaching, consulting, and all these places are breeding ground for exceptional salespeople.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, but there's so much more out there. And I think that people are pigeonholed in positions by shitty coaches who aren't looking for more. Maybe they're not shitty. Maybe they're just I think
different. It's awareness.
They're just different.
Right. Because 6 months ago, we weren't aware that we could just step out and make an introduction to someone and be able to sell something of that capability. It was foreign language to us. I had never even considered that.
I can only imagine what kind of stuff will be.
I can't imagine
like we'll be able to see in 5 years. You know, it's just like the more you kind of expose yourself to it and look around at like sales, like there's a reason why one in every 8 salaried positions in the United States is a sales role.
Yeah,
it's because man, like everything needs to be sold. Everything.
Yeah.
We're doing a talk at the Gucci opening. Do you know about that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I assume Marco set it up based on Gucci,
No,
right?
they asked us.
Yeah, okay.
Marco's doing it.
Probably because he spent so much.
He probably spent so much money. Like, why don't? Yeah, he's doing a masterclass on how to sell to himself. Hey, hopefully we get employee discounts. But
yeah,
so like Gucci's asked us to a 15-minute sales talk at one of their new store openings.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
whereabouts is that?
It's in Melbourne. It's in Melbourne. Yeah, sweet. We've been asked to go out, but he's the only one that can go.
It's locked down. Yeah.
Yeah, so like super interesting. Like sales can take you a lot of wonderful places. We did stuff for Meyer as well. They actually offered Marco
job.
They offered Marco like the head of sales development for all of Meyer or some shit like that. He said no. Obviously, that's why he still works here. It'd be a boring job.
Yeah, because I mean, we've got to convince them to take it outside of that doors.
Yeah, which would be great.
Outsource it, right?
Yeah, which is a tough one.
Yeah. In 5 years, we'll be selling Korea to China.
Yeah. So selling money too, like hedging and all kinds of stuff. I know a guy. It's a funny story. I know a guy. He was a surgeon, and then he only became a surgeon because his dad was a surgeon, and his dad died. And he was like, "Fuck this! I don't want to be a surgeon anymore." And then he became an investment banker. Was such a good investment banker that he was like the top investment banker in Australia in like 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
Right. And guess what the size of one of his bonus checks was?
as an biggest Australian banker, I'd say it'd be 6+ mil.
One of his bonus checks
Yeah.
was $100 million.
Jesus Christ, I was way off the mark.
You're way off.
You looked at me,
100
and I'm
million.
like, I'm wrong, but there's no way it's lower than that.
One of his bonus checks 1 year was $100 million. And I was like, man, imagine how much money that guy made the bank. So
To
they
get
gave him a $100
million
million bonus. I'd love to pay someone a $100 million bonus. Because that means I made a few billion.
It'd have to be at least 10 bill.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
They're not paying
what was
more
that
than
work out to? 1%, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
but-
So, like, being good at sales is just, like, it helps with so many things. And that's what, like, with NAPQ, you know, we help with medical device sales.
Yeah.
We help with, like,
Saving lives every day.
seatbelt manufacturing.
Saving lives every
Saving
day.
lives. Fuck, we're saving lives, people. God damn, saving lives. Right? We do, you know, what else do? We do everything. A lot of, like, door-to-door stuff, solar, like, saving the environment. Saving the world. If we're not saving lives, we're
animals'
saving the planet.
lives or plants'
Yeah,
lives.
security systems door-to-door, saving kids.
people's lives.
Saving kids, right? So do NAPQ if you want to save the planet, save the kids, all that kind
If
of
you
stuff.
just want to be a
but it
good
works
human,
across
yeah.
such a large breadth of things, and I think because the fundamental thing about sales is that it's very similar. And I feel like one of the things that really fucks it up for people is they think that their area of sales is different when it just isn't.
No. And it's also, a lot of sales guys have a perception of what a salesperson is,
Yeah.
right? And it's just not that. Like, people just, these guys come in like, oh no, I sell cars, so this isn't going to work for me. Some car salesman, people have a bad idea of what a car salesman. It's like, well, change that. And
Yeah.
then they'll be surprised that you sell.
Funny
them.
story about car sales when Jeremy went to go buy a car for his lake house.
Yeah, well, and paid 30% above sticker because he
No.
got hustled. I bet he would.
No, he's the opposite of that stuff. So he went to buy a Cadillac Escalade. I think it was like $118,000.
Oh yeah, that'd be
I
nice.
was like, we'll just write it off. I was like, well, we can talk about the write-off, champ. I was like, that's not quite how that works. But anyway, I'll just write it off. I was like, do you know what writing off means?
You don't understand what tax, what the
I was
implications
like,
are.
I don't know if an Escalade for your lake house is a write-off, but anyway, I'm sure we can figure it out.
Unless you deliver an Uber, then maybe we
So
can.
anyway, he goes in. I said, yeah, that's fine. Go buy the car, like whatever. And then he negotiated it, and the guy said to him, and he goes, so Jeremy, like, have we done enough to kind of get you into this car today? And he goes, well, you know, I don't know. And he goes, do you want to deliver it on Tuesday or Wednesday? And Jeremy goes, did you just use an option clause on me? And the guy looks at him and he goes, I'm not buying a car from you.
That feeling, right?
Oh, it's so good.
It's
Savage.
just I could picture the man's heartbreak
Oh,
when he
man.
knows he just lost that commission check.
Did you just use an option clause on me?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't walk out there with not only not having a car but a new client.
Man, he could have sold him sales training. Jeremy Minor, for those of you who don't know, can literally sell anything to anyone at any time.
He can save a bunch of lives too.
Right. He is on a different planet of sales. It's like you don't realize because you never seen him in a sales environment, but like when you see him go into it, and it's like this bamboozled curiosity. I don't know how he does it. It's just like it's just perfect.
Just a switch flicks in his head and he becomes a different person.
Yeah, and like when he was selling the old stuff, which I won't go into the company names, but like we had to look at a couple of the calls. The level of brainwashing was just on a different
Oh
planet.
yeah.
Yeah, like it was like the sales call was like I was like, wow, I just didn't know you could do that in that short a period of time, and just not manipulate's the wrong word, but just like guide someone through a process so effectively.
Yeah.
Where there was literally no way.
Yeah,
wasn't gonna be
I've
one
listened to some
outcome.
of those calls.
It was like, wow.
You know what it is? Do you know who Sasha Fierce is?
No.
Okay, so Sasha Fierce is just,
Sounds like a sassy lady.
she's just a regular lady, you know? And then she has a microphone and she gets on a stage and then all of a sudden she becomes Beyonce, right? It's like her alter ego.
Oh, yeah.
That's Jeremy.
Yeah.
You get him on a phone, he's Beyonce. He's Jeremy Minor. He's no longer the boring guy
Jeremy.
from our concerts.
No, I'm gonna sleep Jeremy.
Uncle Jeremy is sleeping.
Has to call me has to call Marco. He's lost his keys. Hey Marco, I lost my keys.
Marco?
Have you asked Marta? He's like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll go ask Marta.
Hey Marco, can you check my flights? I think I'm at the wrong airport.
Yeah, he's the best. He is the best.
Oh,
He's the
love
absolute best. I love that guy. He's so funny. Man, he's good at sales. It's like it makes me feel retarded. Yeah, I'm pretty good. He's like Usain Bolt, and we're like the teenagers that are on the court with him.
Yeah. It's
But anyway, he's a good dude.
it's like Usain Bolt racing me.
Yeah, he's so good, man. Anyway, I'll stop sucking him off.
I was gonna say,
But yeah, so I think just to kind of go over what I really think that sales is so ubiquitous and the skill set is so applied to so many different strategies. I started coaching a really successful fitness entrepreneur and soon to be even more successful. And I started coaching him in sales, and I was like, hey man, so we use NEPQ, it's Jeremy's method, neuro-emotional persuasion questioning. This is how it works, this is why it works, etc.
Yeah.
I was like, if you really want to dive into it, just use it everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, hey, well, when you get into an Uber, like, hey man, how long have you been an Uber? That driver, he's like, oh, a couple of years. Oh yeah, well, what is it that brought you to be an Uber driver? Oh, this and this. Do you like being an Uber driver? Sweet. What do you like about it? Well, is there anything you would change about being an Uber driver? Maybe the pay or the hours if you could? Oh, I'd love more pay. Why would you want more pay? Like, what would you do with that money? And honestly, you start doing that, people don't know what to do, but they have to answer.
Yeah, they're obliged.
They go down the line so deep, and then when you get out of that Uber, they've told you their deepest dreams, why they want to, and what happens if they never do it. And then you're like, all right, see you, man.
Yeah.
And they're like,
what just happened?
What the fuck just happened?
I just got bamboozled. You got to be careful though, right? Because at some stage, if you get good at it, that guy's going to go, you know what, you're right. He'll let you out there. You're not going to get to your destination because
he's congruent.
He's just going to be congruent. He's going to go
congruent.
and fulfill his dreams now. So.
Yeah, that congruency framework's so well on Marco. If anyone's out there and you want Marco to do anything, just say it's incongruent. I got him to buy a 27-inch iMac as a joke because I said that it was congruent.
I got him to buy that Balenciaga jumper that's ripped. It looks like it's from an op shop.
It's so funny. We never should have given that kid money.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what are we talking? We got a Louis Vuitton basketball ring up there. Anyway.
It's the best and worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I just wish we could dunk it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's trash. So I don't think we need to go too much longer, to be honest. I think I just kind of wanted to go over, this is just a little quickie, right?
Yeah.
But sales is a ubiquitous skill, and I think that if you're out there, I can't think of a better skill set to have than the ability to persuade and sell.
I think other than that, the ability to self-motivate is pretty extraordinary. Most people can't do it. Even though I don't like the word motivation, what I really mean is create obligation for yourself so you do shit.
I had a coaching session with a really young guy today who's in our organization. He's a great kid, right? He's really good at what he does. And I said, listen, man, there's two things. There's talent and there's hard work.
Yeah.
And I was like, talent will get you so far, but at the end of the day, it can also become a crutch because you start to rely on your talent.
You start working.
And then you become the guy at the 100 meters who pulls up at 80 because he's in front and gets passed by two. You see that in the Olympics?
Bradbury.
No. No, it's the opposite. The guy in the Olympics, Lyles, he's sitting there going 200 meter.
Trips,
like that. No. He just pulls up. He's like, I'm killing it. Starts striding it out 20 meters before the finish line like he's going to go over it, like walking over like a cool guy. Right at the last second, two guys passed him.
I got to be honest, I didn't even know the Olympics was on until you told me.
Really?
Italy's
crushing it.
Mate, no idea at all.
Poland and Italy crushing it.
I assumed with COVID.
That's in
Olympics.
Japan.
There you go. All right, they don't have
it's still the 2020 Olympics.
Right.
But it just got moved. Right. But so it was like talent. I was like, and then hard work. Hard work are the guys that run all the way through the line every single time.
Yeah.
But if you have both, then you're in a great position to be able to be really successful.
Yeah, it's complacency, right?
And so what you don't want to be is the talented guy that doesn't try. And so This guy definitely doesn't have that problem. I basically had to rein him in. He wanted to do sales calls and development every single day of the week for 10 hours a day. Yeah. I was like, hey, bro, you got to take it back a notch. But then we have other guys who are kind of the opposite. Super, super talented. And you know who you are if you're listening, because I had a chat to you yesterday. Who are incredibly talented but need the kick in the ass every now and then to actually get their work done. But, the guys, it's just as much of a problem with the guys who work too hard as the guys who don't work hard enough, because they're both issues. The guys who don't work hard enough need a kick in the ass to get them up there. And the guys who work too hard, it's like, hey, man, we got to pull you back because you're just going to destroy yourself. And then you get so much less effective when you're doing that. And it's like, my job as a mentor and as a leader and all that kind of stuff, and same as yours, is to identify the guys who need to kick in the ass and do that. And identify the guys who need to be pulled back and pull them back, because, it's okay. If people are a little bit naturally, quote-unquote, lazy, whatever you want to call it, fuck, man, that's cool. And if people are naturally pig-headed and just want to fucking develop themselves into a stupor to the point where they are burn themselves out so bad they can't talk for a month, that's stupid as well.
And we've seen that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I think that's where good development. I was having a chat with a client today, and he has one of his sales guys just got offered a TV show. So he's going to be doing part-time TV show part-time. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, man. He's like, well, how do I talk to him? I was like, well, first of all, it's a bright light. I was like, and we're drawn towards bright light. TV show is a very bright light.
I know. I was recently on one, wasn't I?
Yeah. Those of you who don't know, James Sackle, $1 million listing New York. Yeah. Is it a nice apartment? Did you end up liking it?
Yeah. There's the one that I buy. I think the episode will be next. Yeah. This weekend. Or
cheeky little $5 million pied à terre, hey, in New York.
It's like 6.4.
6.4
US. It's bigger than yours.
Yeah. So, and he was asking about how we have those conversations with salespeople, and I just said, well, man, salespeople are highly motivated, in-demand individuals, especially good ones. So I was like, the only thing that you can do, and if you're a business owner listening to this, the only thing you can do is have a conversation with them and go, listen, where do you want to be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And if I can facilitate that growth within my organization, I will. Now, if they're like, I want to start a business and I want to restore cars full time, be like, sweet, man, I can't fucking help with that. But what tools can I give you along the way so that you can do that successfully? Knowing full well that I'm probably not going to put a lot of responsibility on that person's shoulders because their ultimate vision is to leave. But that's fine. It's a slightly more transactional relationship. However, we can both help each other win in the short term.
Oh, yeah, and that's fine. A lot of people don't want to develop people knowing that they're only going to be there for a short period of time. But I can't understand why. Because for that period of time, they will be making you a significant amount of money, and you can end with a handshake and be happy with what you're creating. What I'd like to leave you guys on is we've just come to the realization that through sales, that there is so much more out there. Right, so I challenge the guys listening to figure out once you master the skill, and you have to master it first because that's what the opportunity cost is, get good at that skill, increase your income, then focus on bigger and better things because you've got more behind you. Have a look around and see what things that you can sell in the future and aspire to be something better there, because it's the only way. Once you get really good at something, more doors open and just better things happen. Thanks.
Anyway, that's sort of my philosophy. That went a bit swings and roundabouts, but there you go. Hope you guys like the new camera quality. That's a really expensive camera. So make sure you comment hashtag. What's that?
What was that one with?
I think it's 7,000.
Nice, good camera. It'll look good in my New York apartment.
Yeah.
I'll just
right in front of the bed.
Yeah. Well, those are planned.
Hashtag OnlyFans. Yeah. If you want James to start an OnlyFans, write hashtag OnlyFans.
You probably don't.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, hilarious. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that content. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have a new email called youtube@yoursalesniper.com. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want to talk about anything, if you want to get sent any of the resources that we talk about today, or you have any questions of what we said, you can just email that. I'm sure somebody is looking at it.
Yeah, and we'll leave you there, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.